Ukraine's prime minister warned that the nation could face its hardest winter since Russia's full-scale invasion began as attacks on its energy infrastructure intensify.
Ongoing Russian airstrikes have severely damaged Ukraine's energy generation, leaving the country dependent on its 3 operational nuclear power plants.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced Tuesday that his country will send 24 soldiers and police officers to Haiti this week to assist a UN-backed mission led by Kenya in combating violent gangs. Google has lost its final attempt to overturn a European Union antitrust ruling as the bloc's top court ruled against the tech giant on Tuesday, upholding a hefty fine that sparked increased scrutiny on big tech.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking.
Or eating.
That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Ha ha ha. You make me laugh. Ha ha ha. I just can't get enough coffee. Really. It's one of those days. It's already going to be one of those days. I don't know. I just don't know. Good morning, happy people. Yeah. Good morning. It is Thursday, September 12th, 2024. We're on our way to fall. You could call it autumn, but it feels more like a fall. Anyway, I have once again not slept and could probably use about 12 pots of really strong coffee today, and still will not be fully cognitive, fully engaged, and it's a pity. But can you tell the difference between that and normal me? Or, normal me probably doesn't belong in the same sentence. The me you get every other day, you probably can't. Anyway, today we have Ann Charles, who is going to be with us in the second hour. In the first hour, we don't have a guest. Stephen, the sitcom Ortiz, has been replaced by a paperweight or a doorstop, maybe a folding table or something. He's not going to be with us today. Once again, he's diddling kids and probably will be arrested. We have sent the FBI to apprehend him, to stop him from whatever terrible thing he's about to do to children. So it's that. Anne will be with us, as I mentioned, in the second hour. Now, she has been with me before, but in her booking request, it seems like she doesn't remember, because here's what she said: my publicist, Mickey Mickelson from Creative Edge Publicity, has shared your podcast info with me. I'll let him know I'm booked so we can send over info. Doesn't sound like she remembers me. I thought we had a good conversation. She is one of the more successful authors that I've ever interviewed. Best-selling author, many books, and she's somebody who can really relate to the struggles. I gotta stop saying I realize that I say too much. Can we get out of my mouth? Thank you. Thank you for pulling that out of my mouth. And no, I didn't say. Never mind. But I can relate to really the struggles as any performing artist or any creative artist has, because she struggled for a long time working a day job while continuing to improve her craft, taking constructive criticism and building upon that, and never stopping the hard work until she got published by a traditional publisher, and enough. I see, there goes my again. Take the out of your mouth. What's the word I'm looking for? Enough financial support that she could do what she wanted to do full time. And I think that's what all creative people, whether you're a musician, comedian, actor, whatever Steven's doing right now, we'll turn the page on that. But whatever you want to do, you really want to be able to put all your energy into it, and you can't put all your energy into it until you can financially support yourself. That's just a fact of life. So we'll talk to her about that. I've talked to her about that before, but since she doesn't remember, what the hell? We'll have the same conversation again. How about that? There goes my again. Somebody's gonna have to tase me every time I I need I need a dedicated taser, an taser. Taser. Where's my taser? I lost my taser. They're still talking about the debate. I don't know if counts as an Now I'm gonna be a little self-conscious about the as well as the ums. Jim Dolan, who I used to work for, we used to call him because he could never get to a sentence without saying the Anyway, where was I? Oh, they're still talking about the debate, and here's the weirdest. I just said, somebody tase me. Here's the weirdest thing about the debate talk from the Donald Trump camp is that he's trying to paint it as he did not lose. He did not lose pitifully as he did, as we all saw him lose. But in the same breath, he's making tons of weird excuses, conspiratorial excuses, like her earrings were earbuds that she was listening to getting information from other people. If you think you won, why are you making so many excuses why you didn't win? Deep down, he knows he lost. And Ron Filipakowski, who is a pundit at Midas Touch, and then I believe he's a content contributor over there. He made the observation that Trump is like a child who lost the game and is still trying to convince his first grade teammates that he actually won the game. I made that observation back in 2015, the very first day he decided, he announced he was going to run. I said, he is like that brat that you play a game with, and he's out by a mile running to first base, and he's out by 10 feet, and he cries that he was safe, and everybody just can't take his whining and bitching, and they just let him be safe. Let's just let him be safe. This is who he's been his whole life. And I followed the man. I know his history. And that's exactly who he is. He's like that guy in Ghostbusters. You know, that redheaded douchebag, the news guy. Or he's also in what movie is that? It's Die Hard, right? He's Die Hard, the one that Bruce Willis's wife in the movie ends up punching in the face at the end of the first Die Hard. That guy. That's Donald Trump, a whiny little pussy bitch. And there's a big difference between how the debate in June, the Democrats acknowledged Joe Biden did not do well. And they looked inside and said, what do we need to do? Versus the Republican reaction to Donald Trump's ridiculously embarrassing failure the other night, and their denial and their excuse making, and they're just refusing to acknowledge reality. Now, the thing that will probably last a couple of 100 years, no kidding, is the fact that he uttered, "They're eating the dogs." That will probably last a couple of 100 years. But now they're trying frantically, even at the cost of bribing people, to get evidence of Haitians eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. Bribing. They've offered literally bribe $5,000 if you can get evidence of a Haitian eating somebody's dog in Ohio. They're panicking, trying to deny reality. This is who the Republicans are now under Trump. They've become a party of whining little bitches like that guy in Die Hard. Anyway, so we're gonna bitch and moan ourselves through the first hour here, and then maybe Ann Charles will remember me when she sees me. Oh yeah, I remember you, that bald, obnoxious asshole I didn't really like talking to. Mickey didn't tell me it was you. I'm out of here. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway, the two of the three correspondents, co-hosts, whatever you want to call them, are with me, and we'll say hello to them after this. I need a, you know what? I could get Daily High. I could get High Daily, but I'd rather have my Mind Bloom.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
I'm mind-blowing. In the room with me now are the fabulous Ron Kane from somewhere in Pennsylvania. I think it's Bumfuck, Pennsylvania. And my best friend of the last 37 years and 3 days, Mr. J.P. Pendleton.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you unsure of the many ways to use Well, go to MindDog TV and get and purchase the Matt Napo book, I Promise Not to In Your Mouth, 301 Uses for
I wouldn't trust that. That's not trustworthy.
MindDogTV.com. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering. And unmute yourself, Ron. We'll never hear a word you say.
It's like salty gum or something. Anyway,
we got a special.
Hey, GD, you said you didn't like long legs. Go fuck yourself. Crack the sky, just say you're a power bottom and save us the trouble. So keep working on your little skits and I'll keep throwing around my dick.
I gotta get that. What website creates that?
That is an app. What the fuck is it? Let me. The name of the app is Parrot.
Now, One of you guys tase. What fuck? Where's my taser? Is Nicolas Cage gonna? Is he okay with? He can't be fine with it because I could get him to say anything, right? I could get him to say,
I have.
I'm in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to his people yesterday, and he like had this special message.
Hey, GD, you said you didn't like long legs. Go fuck yourself. Crack the sky, just say you're a power bottom and save us the trouble. So keep working on your little skits, and I'll keep throwing around my dick.
It's amazing. The one thing that doesn't seem right about that is he seems like he stole John Travolta's wig.
Yeah, I have some other ones too.
Oh no. Oh no! Say it isn't so. Say it isn't
Yeah,
so.
I can throw them in.
Do any of them say
Not
No.
yet.
Good.
Now, Ron, just so you know, I am going to lift that, and I will replay that on my Facebook page.
Yeah. If they let you, I don't know. I think you have to declare AI use when you have.
But it's not AI. It's real. I saw his face. It's real.
They say if the video portrays somebody doing or saying something that they did not actually say in real life,
You just have to declare it, right? Because but to me, it's real. I see John Travolta. I see Nicolas Cage.
No, you see John Travolta's wig on top of Nicolas Cage.
Are they shooting the sequel to Face to Face? Is that it?
No, they're calling it it's not whatever, Head. They're just calling it Head.
Oh,
like the monkey movie.
I do have another video here we could
Please
talk about.
entertain us. Making a cake with a period blood so that her soul will always be entwined. That seems like it's meant to be a joke, but
it could be real, especially if you're like.
I have experience with it being real.
Especially people who use like placenta for food.
What can I say without getting myself sued here? There was an organization that I was part of, and there was
Red
a name.
TV?
I cannot say. I don't want to get sued. Let's not guess. Let's not guess.
Okay.
An organization I was part of, where there was a Native American teacher that was part of this thing. She used to hold a drum circle. And in order to get people more spiritually involved, connected to the drum circle, the drum healing circle, she painted a big drum in period blood, and all these women had to donate in real time together. And then the males kind of stood around and absorbed the female energy of the spirit, of the female energy spirit from the period blood as they had this strumming circle. So
I'm just curious. Did they have to like synchronize their periods so they could all have menstrual blood at the same time?
They do naturally. I don't know if you know this, but it happens as a natural thing. Women,
yeah, but it takes time. It's not like you sign up for a course and all of a sudden you're synced.
It's a 4-year. I know it wasn't. Yeah, see, you almost made me say something I didn't want to say. It was not just like they didn't just meet. Let's just put it that way.
It wasn't like they just met and go like.
They didn't just sign up for a course like you just said. That's what I'm. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so they were there for a while. They were together for a while. Okay.
Yes, for 4 years.
Okay, all right. That answers that question. Because you just don't sync up unless you start recruiting people who say, "Okay, we're recruiting people, but you have to have your period on September 12th to be part of this group."
But no, as men, we should be able to sync up our diarrhea cycles, our purple diarrhea cycles, so that we all have purple diarrhea at the same time of the year, or month, or week, or day.
Well, I have another celebrity here that wants to drop in.
With period blood or without?
This one's without. This one's without.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
The sitcom, Steven? Who the fuck is watching a sitcom? Sure, man. I was on news radio and talked to Phil Hartman. I got to tell you, man, lose the wheelchair. You're making me feel bad. Stop thinking about yourself.
Wow. Wow.
I didn't even realize we were that popular that they were noticing us.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Lose the wheelchair. I suppose you could just like drag him from actual chair to actual chair.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
the sitcom, Steven? Who the fuck is watching a sitcom? Sure, man. I was on news radio and talked to Phil Hartman. I got to tell you, man, lose the wheelchair. You're making me feel bad. Stop thinking about yourself.
Stop thinking about yourself. That's impossible. That's an impossible task. Nobody
He
can
dropped the gauntlet. Steven says, I'll fight Rogan right now.
I don't know. I think Rogan would chicken out. Have you seen the clip of Rogan chicken out? It was.
Are there any other kinds of?
Not Fear Factor. One of those shows that he was. It might have been Fear Factor. Two of the contestants were fighting, and they weren't tough guys. They were like pussy men, little girly pussy men. And he was afraid to break it up. He was. You would think a badass like him, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, lift weights every fucking minute of the day. You would think he would have the balls to get in there and say, "Stop, or I'll kick both your asses." He was like, I think he runs away, and he told stories. He didn't even realize he was telling stories that made him look like a pussy coward. He was hired to do security at a Neil Young concert years ago, paid $15 an hour, and the minute a fight broke out, he ran away because he didn't think it was worth risking his life for $15. That to me is a coward. You don't take the job if you're afraid. You don't take the job if you're not going to follow through and do the job you were hired to. Because if I took a job as a security guard to see, and then the minute there was trouble, I left. I was willing to take the paycheck as long as I didn't have to do anything.
Now, Ron, by chance, do you happen to have an ad for Matt's new book? I promise not to in your mouth. 301 uses for
No, but I can reach out to some of my celebrity friends.
I'm going to try. I know this is a reference that you won't get because you never watched The Godfather, and this is why you're going to hell, both of you. But there's a reference. If Don Corleone has all the judges and politicians in his pocket, he must share from the well. If Ron Kane has all the AI apps in his pocket, he must share.
Well, the only thing I know, if I'm going to hell, it must be full of good fellows.
Yeah. Oh, I think Joe has something else to say. Joe, I mean, he's really
G.D. Fenderson doesn't listen to my show. I'm not surprised, man. It's not 1980. Fuck, man, he's listening to Crack the Sky. They formed because of windmills. He wants to woke. Hey, choke on this, man.
Choke on this, man. Wow. I just got a cease and desist from, what is this? JRE. What does that stand for? JRE. Cease and desist. I'm not JRE-ing.
Now, it's first of all, what Rogan says doesn't really impact me, but I do not like the fact that he picked on my best friend of 22 years, Stephen Ortiz. Okay, I don't like that. And so I will be putting my foot all up in his ass because I will defend Stephen and his right to roll till I die.
Huh.
So yeah, Rogan, it's me and you. I'm putting my foot all up in your ass. You don't be picking on my buddy Stephen like that.
I use matches, but not for an oven, for building forts with Putin. I once said I love grabbing pussy, but I love eating pets, especially in front of a child. Gotta say, it makes me feel swell, eating too much pussy cat. I love Snorter and Stormer and Eddie's Advance's hairy chest.
I can't believe that they're letting you do this. App is letting you do this.
The thing is, they can't stop them yet. They don't know. They don't have now. The thing is, they're like, nobody's going to do this. Wait a minute, somebody's doing this. Now they'll be
no, because the AI apps I have, if I put Trump in there, they'll refuse. They'll say, no, you used a word, a trigger word that triggers the app to say, no, we won't do that. But this is because it's potentially dangerous thing here. And I think as much as I'm enjoying some of these clips
now,
here,
but Twitter does not ask you about AI stuff. So I could actually copy that thing that Ron did, and I can put it on Twitter because nobody gives a shit on Twitter.
Oh, somebody gives a shit.
No, nobody. Well, Elon Musk, and but nobody in there said anything bad about Elon Musk, or he's not going to give a shit.
Oh no, he gives a shit. He just put out a thing the other day. What is? And there goes the again. What he said something about if anybody I see anybody sharing things. What he said was propaganda, but it really propaganda in his mind is defined as anything that I don't like or is against my. I'm going to ban them.
Coffee with the dog? What the fuck is that? You know, man, I heard he took someone's eye. Jamie, look up Matt Napo and his non-oil mustache. Can you believe this motherfucker? He's too busy being woke to fix his stash, man.
See, the only thing I would take offense with to that is there's no such thing as mustache oil. What the it's dye.
There is mustache grease. Yeah, I mean, how did they get that stuff to stay up like that if it's not oil and grease or whatever? Or
it's wax.
Well, wax has oil in it, right? No.
I'm not. That's a weak justification. There is no. I'll fucking.
Okay, see. I'm going to Google.
I am too. Let's Google at 10 paces.
Well, no, you'll beat me because I type with one finger and you type with two.
No, I don't. Mustache oil.
Mustache oil. There it is. $11.97. 11 rolls beard oil for men and beard softener.
I'm claiming it was rigged. It was ABC 3 against 1. There were earrings involved.
There's also beard balm made by Biotin.
Is there pube oil?
Okay, let me check that. No. You know what's going to happen if I type that in?
I know. I just wanted to fuck with your browser history.
The first thing it's going to do is going to send me this. It's going to say, "See Ron Kane." That's the first thing it's going to do.
So last night when I got this other message from Joe, I couldn't stop laughing at this.
Oh
one.
No! What you spend all night fucking playing with your AI thing?
It's like Christ, this guy, Ron Kane, he demands only lingerie on his rider, man. Yeah, you would think cocaine. But he started back in Boston. He worked for Uncle Fisto, man. You remember Fisto and that trick he would do with the tip? We're all howling, Hee-ja.
It's very convincing AI. I don't know what that setting was that he was on. Apparently, they only have that video clip of him sitting in that chair with his brown shirt and his dopey little cabbie hat. But they make the head gestures work. The lips are in sync. It's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I mean, sometimes it gets a little wonky. Like I had the word penis in there, but it wouldn't accept penis. So
because the P.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I don't know. Well, disregard everything. I have not slept. I don't know if I've mentioned that.
Now, but does it reject it phonically? Can you still get them to say if you use it phonically instead of the word?
Maybe. And sometimes you got to play with how you put in your text in there to create. It doesn't really tell you. But sometimes to create like pacing, you need to have.
I was going to ask, but actually, does it recognize commas? Because it sounds like you could put like a comma between words, even if it doesn't belong there grammatically, to get them to pause a little bit.
Can we get like two celebrities in the same clip? Like, can we get Anna de Armas and Sydney Sweeney to say, "I'm really into bald men and coffee"? And
now that actually, I could probably do that because what you do is you get the two clips side by side, you green screen them, and then you can put the two of them together.
I have one more, but this one is being a bear for some reason. It won't upload, but it's quick.
There's nothing more thrilling than shitting all over Jared. I eat a lot steak for a few days, then I do a fruit cleanse. Jared's chest winds up looking like bottom of my feet after walking barefoot in a strawberry field. Sometimes I will sneak into my dad's office and shit in one of his drawers. There is nothing more thrilling.
See, now the audio from that is actual audio. That's not AI. That was a real thing. She actually said those words.
Yeah, just not in those orders. And she said shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was about shitting on Jared's chest and shitting in her dad's desk.
But her lips weren't moving. Now she's either taking lessons for Paul Winchell or who was the
April Brooker?
Edgar Bergen. Oh, April Brooker, yeah.
Well, it'll give you the option that you can use an image or a video, and sometimes it will only let you use the image of that person, but then it'll give you the audio like it did in that one.
Yeah. Instagram now, I have not seen the results of it. Instagram has this thing, you can invent an AI character that people can interact with. I created one, but then I didn't see where it went or how anybody.
Poor man. It probably went out for cigarettes, like a bunch of other people's fathers, and is never coming back.
That could be.
Matt says, "I created you." Like, I'll be right back, Matt. I gotta go get some cigarettes.
Have you guys played with it? And I don't mean played with it. Played with the thing on Instagram. Have you? No.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that come up, but I haven't played with that yet. No.
Yeah, like when you go to create a post, if you're on there and you just go to create a post there instead of using like the meta thing, you hit create and then it says live video AI character. What is the other? I can't see that because we're on there live streaming. But there's 3 different options. But one of them is AI character. I created an AI character, but I don't know where he lives. I would love to see what he has.
I bet you there's a homeless AI embankment somewhere in New York. All of those characters, they're like, did you check the homeless AI?
Hey GD, I sent you the Rogan video, and I'll send you the Nicolas Cage one as well.
Okay.
Send me the app, goddammit. You must share from the waters of the well.
Like I said, the app is called Parrot.
Carrot. Now
Parrot. Parrot.
All right.
Yeah, you have to spell it out for Matt because he's going to put like 3 R's or 9 T's.
What are you?
And he's going to put an in the middle of it. He's going to be Parrot Rot.
Is today Thursday Insult Matt Day? Is that what it is?
We're just trying to pick up the slack for Steven. We know that Steven will be digging at you.
It's funny how quickly Matt forgets when he came in here a few days ago, so angry and yelling at all of us.
That's true, yeah. And he even called. Remember when he called Steven the N-word? It was just. It was like, oh, I can't believe it. Yeah, non-rolling. He said he was a non-roller.
Non-roller.
I was like, oh my God, how can you so man? So chill, you know.
I also have entertainment if you guys want to do that. If you want,
we definitely want to do that. There's a couple of stories that I think are pressing. They need to be told. They need to be investigated. They need to be exposed.
Are you gonna talk about Taylor Swift and her endorsing Donald Trump? Or
why do we have to preempt it? Well, not empt.
Tease it. I'm teasing it.
Well, you're teasing it.
Yeah, that's why I asked him. So are you going to talk about that? Because he'll go, yeah, and then tease it.
Why don't you just show up and enjoy it as it unfolds, rather than have to know before you get in?
What kind of sense does that make? You don't know anything about radio. How long have you been doing this? What, 30 seconds? It sounds like you've been doing this for 30 seconds. That is such a rookie move.
I haven't slept.
That is such a rookie move.
That's my excuse.
That's something like somebody who has been listening to Joe Rogan for 20 years would say.
No, I would listen to him for I did listen to him for a period before the vaccine stuff and the COVID stuff broke his brain. I used to listen to him once in a while, but never like for his opinions. I listened when they had really interesting guests on, because he does have the power, the influence to get some really cool people on that program, which I'm still struggling with. I'm looking forward to next Wednesday night in a big way. Last night, my guest did not show up. And here's the deal with the guest last night.
Why didn't you call me? I could have filled in. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What about the guest last night? Go ahead.
He's a former tech writer, and his name was Neil Fishman. Now, he decided to write fiction, and he's calling himself Fish Nealman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't show up, but it's like he's literally going with this Fish. He's written like three books now, a series under Fish Nealman. He has a website called Fish Tales, and his brother Gary Fishman is on it. But so they have 3 authors listed: Neil Fishman, Gary Fishman, and Fish Nealman. It's like, you think people are going to be fooled by it? I mean, what's the purpose of that? I know some people like pen names and all that kind of stuff, but you're not even trying to hide it or really. I don't know. It just seems like
if my last name were Fishman, I would use the pen name Gorton Fishman. Just so there'd be some people would be some kind of branding. You know, it sounds familiar already.
Right.
Gorton Fishman.
Yeah. So he didn't show up though, and again. I gotta stop saying There's got to be a way to. There's got to be a way. Change myself. There's a publicist who works for him who she screwed up the booking like 4 different times, but then on Monday morning she said, this is for Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right? So she was fully aware of it. I wrote to her and said, he's not here. I have not heard back from her. This is a woman who 3 times a week she's got requests for people on the program, and I've been more diligent in saying yes and no. Actually reading them, not just saying yes to every one of them. But so I confirmed this was Monday morning. Wednesday night comes and she doesn't answer the emails or any of this stuff. A lot of these publicists are a little bit flaky. I don't know. For me, some of them have, not this particular one, some of them have offered to pay. And I said, no, I don't want the money because that's like a conflict of interest. Then I feel like I have to declare that to the audience that this author has had a publicist pay to be on the program. Now, I'm not just pitching their books out of kindness of my heart or I believe in them or any of that stuff. It's a paid advertiser in some way. So
could you take the money and just give it to me and Ron, and that way you won't be influenced by it. They're not paying you.
Is the slice of black and white cookie that I'm going to eat in your honor not enough?
The thing is, you never show me what it looks like when it comes out. You just tell us about it.
Right. I give, and they always want more. So you see this? I've offered, and I have not purchased the cookie yet. But now I'm
a line from The Godfather. I give, and they always want more.
No, it could be. It could be. But it's not.
Goodfellas. This is a line from Goodfellas.
I don't think so. I just don't think so.
What's another Italian mob movie?
Donnie Brasco.
Oh, Donnie Brasco.
Maybe.
And what's the other one where not Ned Betty, the guy that married Anne Benning, he did a Vegas movie where he was a gangster. Bugsy, that's it.
Yeah.
Is it a line from Bugsy?
I don't think so. I never saw Bugsy.
You should watch Bugsy. I hear it's a good movie. It ends. Well, I won't tell you how it ends, but he gets killed at the end.
Huh.
That's with Warren Beatty, right?
Yes, that's it. Warren Beatty. I knew it was a Beatty. Yeah. I didn't know if it was Ned.
I can't believe he remembered her, but not him. He's definitely the biggest star there.
Really?
Yeah, just a little.
I thought, but Annette Bening, she was like in American Beauty and another thing.
Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah. No. She was in Heaven Can Wait.
He was Dick Tracy. He was Dick Tracy. He was Bonnie and Clyde. He was Clyde.
He was also in that movie about the desert thing where he was that really bad movie that him and this other guy.
Ishtar.
Ishtar. That's it.
It was in Shampoo. Oh yeah, Ishtar. That reminds me. The other night after the debate, Albert Brooks.
Speaking of disasters, Ishtar debate.
Yeah. Albert Brooks was commenting on the debate, and he said, Trump said, or maybe it was Harris that said, they're laughing at us all around the world. And Albert Brooks said, that seems like a comedian's dream. Everywhere around the world, they're laughing. And I remembered Albert Brooks had a movie that most people forgot about now. It's called Looking for Comedy in the Muslim World. It came out like soon after 9/11. And he was contracted by the United States government to try to make peace happen by going there and discovering what they think is funny.
Right.
That's a great one. Yeah. Why that should be on Netflix. That should be. What happened to all these great movies?
I'll look to see if I can find that movie, because that could be one of the movies we talk about when we watch a movie to talk about. We could talk about that movie if we can find it and watch it.
I think that's a much better version of Ishtar. That's the way I look at it. When you brought up Ishtar, it reminded me.
I've never seen Ishtar.
Ishtar sucked. A friend, guy who used to, and the guy I know from the local scene here, musician Paul J, is in that movie. He was a kid at the time when that came out. Dustin Hoffman and Warren Beatty. And
did that come out like in the 80s?
Like around 1980, somewhere around there. Yeah, not too.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because there was like 2 or 3 year period in my life when I was like one of my best friends, actually my group of friends were like they were all in school for theater. I mean, movies, they're learning to direct, write, edit, stuff like that. They're all in college to get their degrees and those in the arts. And that was my main cluster of friends. And so most of the things that I was doing was things that they was like, I have to watch this. I have to go to the movies to watch this for class. Will you go with me? So I won't be sitting by myself if it's a bit, And so a lot of things I watched during that time were things that my friends had to watch as home assignments.
And
they were never asked to watch Ishtar. So
I never went to a movie alone, but I think at this point in life I'm ready, because I go to comedy clubs alone. I have probably at least a half a dozen times now gone to a comedy club alone. It's a weird experience going by yourself, because people look at you like.
But also, Matt, but that's your own fault that you're going alone. That's because most of the people that you know personally, you have their restraining orders, and so you can't go to places with them when you can't sit with them.
You're wrong. Let me explain. Most of the people I am friendly with have to be in bed by 7:30. It's true. I mean, nobody wants to go out. And people my age, you're ready for Jell-O and bedtime. That's what.
That's the problem with being me when most of my fan base is like that.
Yeah.
Because the people my age are like, you doing a comedy show? Yeah. What time? Well, it's at 8:00 a.m. I can make that. No, p.m. Oh,
past my bedtime.
Don't you do brunch specials? No, I don't. I haven't done a brunch comedy show yet, but I will. I will do a brunch comedy show.
It's weird because sometimes, occasionally, not like this happens all the time, like 7:00, 7:30, I'll go in to take a nap. My wife says, "You go to bed?" Like, no. When am I going to go to bed at 7:30 at night? But I could see, she probably thinks I'm ready for that. I'm ready to be old. I'm not ready to be old. As old as I am, I'm not ready to be old. I'm ready for, I don't know, carbon 60 and purple diarrhea. That's what I'm ready for.
You will let us know when that comes in so that we can be the guinea pigs, right?
I think I will ask. I'll probably tape it. I'll probably I'll hire a videographer to watch me purple poop, purple diarrhea.
And is Mitch coming back on? When is Mitch coming back on? Because I learned a lot from him, and I like to pick his brain again for free.
Who?
Mitch. The guy
Mitch
that
Carson.
Was on. Yeah.
Mitch Carson. I did not. I could reach out to him again. He reminded me of Jimmy Dore. You know Jimmy Dore?
Is he a comedian?
He thinks he actually does go and do stand-up shows. I don't. He's more of a pundit, guy who has a podcast. He's a political guy. He was far left. He was very far left, and now, and like Dave Rubin, who used to be far left, is now a Trumper. I can't listen. I can see people making incremental changes in principles and what they believe in, but I can't see how you go from an extreme to another extreme in just a very short.
I think that is usually just an external thing. Like internally, they've always been like that, but because of it's like if your DNA says that you're a conservative, because it's a way of thinking, but you're raised in a, let's say, a progressive household. It's like listening to your parents' music before you find your own music.
Yeah.
And so you grow up, you're like, okay, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Democrat, even though in your heart, you feel and think like a conservative. And then all of a sudden something happens, you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna be me. But people don't realize that you're actually becoming you. They think you've changed. It's like, no, I've dropped the facade, and this is the kind of creep I am.
I always thought my parents were Republican. My brother told me my father was very independent, a Kennedy Democrat. He voted, and when Kennedy was running, he was supporting the Democratic ticket. But I always thought they're Republican. I guess I was too, I don't know, out of it to really. My brother's older than me. He saw firsthand during those years. I never saw that side of my father, the one who supported the Kennedy Democrats. So. But yeah, that's interesting because I want to talk to Kelly about that on Wednesday night, Kelly Carlin, because she is a Buddhist. Now, I'm still not sure. I think Buddhism is like Judaism in the way that, or being Jewish in the way that you can be a religious Jew or you could be a cultural Jew. You could be an atheist and still be a Jew, right?
Right.
That's weird to me. That you can't be a Catholic and still be an atheist, right?
No, but by definition, Catholics are atheists. I'm just.
Now you just confused me. You broke my brain.
No, I'm just saying because here's the deal. Quite often, Catholics, instead of like praying directly to God, you have to go through like this hierarchy, and before you even get to God, they pray to saints. Mary. Yeah, Mary. And Mary's not a god, okay? So if that's your thing, you're an atheist because you're praying to Mary and she's not a god.
All right.
It's a loophole thing.
All right. Thanks for derailing my whole conversation. No, so you can't be a born again Christian and be an atheist.
No.
Okay. Now Kelly's a Buddhist, and I think, and I'm confused by this. I think her father. And maybe I'm wrong about this, but I always considered George Carlin to be a hardcore atheist, right? So it's weird for me to see a child of an atheist grow up to have any religion at all, or any kind of pseudo religion. I don't know if Buddhism is a religion, a philosophy, a culture. What is it?
I think it's yes. I think it's all of the above. I think it's definitely religion, and definitely a philosophy. And definitely a culture. So yeah.
And Buddha was a real person, right?
Absolutely.
A historical evidence person, not like
his name wasn't Buddha. His name was Siddhartha.
Okay. Now, was he claiming to be?
Sorry,
did he claim to be a messiah?
No, he was actually. Now this is where my memory is getting a little foggy, and people, please feel free to fact check me. I thought he was wealthy and a man of means and maybe royalty, but not like a prince, like of a country, but like maybe like a prince of a town or a township or something like that. So a man of means, very thin, slim, of slim build, not the chubby guy thing is, and quite the handsome guy, as I understand it, in terms of Buddhism.
So like me,
he was a Buddhist. He was a Buddhist 10. Okay.
You're describing me.
Yeah.
I did not know I'm Buddha.
Yeah, he was probably, I mean, he wasn't like a Christian 8. He was a Buddhist 10. He was a good-looking guy, thin, a man of means. And he obtained enlightenment, maybe with the help of some kind of hallucinogenic, but he was under a tree. He was under a tree when he received his enlightenment. And kind of changed his ways. Now that's like Newton. That is the Reader's Digest version. That is the GD Digest version. please feel free to fact check me and correct me. But that's basically it. He was a real person.
So I'm just interested in how she got into that, because generally you don't see children of atheists growing up to have.
But she also may not be like the legitimate Buddhist. She may be the American Buddhist.
That's what I mean. And
those
people
that chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and they call themselves Buddhists because they can chant that, but they don't know what it means.
Right. So. Because I could definitely appreciate some of the philosophies and my take on Buddhism, if it as a religion, it's one of the few that I can think of that don't say you better believe what we believe, or else, and what comes after that, or else we'll kill you. Believe what we believe, or we'll kill you. That's basically the way most religions go. So I'm interested in that.
I want to thank Ian because he pointed out the genealogy for Jimmy Dore, because I was unfamiliar with who Jimmy Dore was, and so I just
Jimmy Dore is spelled D-O-R-E, not D-O-R. Cousin to Dave Table.
Sorry, Ian, you got the wrong door. Sorry, I was about to give you your props. You spelled it. I'm sorry.
But Mitch Carson had Jimmy Dore's voice. He had his Jimmy Dore. He could be a Jimmy Dore impersonator, or it could actually have been Jimmy Dore pranking us. Could have been.
Now, when I saw his face, he actually I can't remember the celebrity now, but he looked to me like he could have been a certain celebrity's cousin. I'd seen that face before, and I was like, I've seen that face before. Although I think it seems like philosophically he leans right, but the business sense, the advice he gives is like neutral. It's politics neutral. But if I were to guess his politics, I would say he's like to the right of that. He's somewhere in the middle of Reagan and Cheney. But
I thought he showed his hand when he said that Harris failed to answer the questions about
17 times.
Yeah, that seemed like a Republican talking point to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the way. And before that, he said that he would have given Trump tips.
Yeah, he wanted to give. He wanted to coach Trump, and I said, I don't think he's coachable. I know for a fact he's not coachable.
Yeah, I mentioned that to my wife. His sentence and your response, and my wife laughed because she tends to agree with you on that.
Yeah, I broke my glasses yesterday.
How did you do that?
Is that what that white strip in the middle is? Did you put a Band-Aid on it?
No, this is a different. No, these are not the same glasses. These are my old glasses that have a green tint to them. They're like sunglasses. My actual glasses, I leaned down, looked down, and they fell off my face and hit the floor and splattered.
Are they the same prescription? Was that 21,000?
No, I ordered 3 pair of 21,000s that are coming, but they're not coming till next Friday. So I have to deal with these.
The people at Hubble have to make your lenses.
Right. I could have went with these, but these are Coke bottles, but these really make me look like a weird Clark Kent type of thing. I don't know. I don't know.
You put those on, I think you're looking right through me. I'm gonna cover up.
So it was like heartbreaking. Like, oh, I love those glasses. Those are my glasses. Those are the ones that people know me with. This is part of my caricature. I can't. So, but the quickest I could get them replaced is next Friday, the 20th.
That's not bad because it usually takes Hubble like 6 months to replace a lens. So.
Yeah. But
I mean, even like 10 years ago, when you would go to the eye doctor, and they'd be like, "It'll be 2 to 3 weeks or longer or whatever."
Yeah.
And now it's
we just need to replace your eyes. That's what we need to do.
Now, do you have cataracts also, or you just?
I do have a Rincon Continental.
We're just blind.
Yeah, I'm just blind. Well, it started in my mid-30s because I started with computers probably before a lot of other people did, and the monitors had extreme radiation. When you like in the late 80s, you would be in front of an IBM monitor, and it would just be like X-raying your head.
You can almost hear it hum. You can almost hear it go.
Yeah. So, like by 1993, 94. I started to notice I can't read the screen anymore. What's going on? And in those days, I'm like like Wyatt Earp describing the Old West. In those days, the fonts were really big. They wouldn't nobody used these little fine fonts. It was like all these pixelated, and the fonts were like an inch tall. I still was having trouble reading them. It's like everything was blurring. I was like, "Am I going blind? Am I?" Because I had perfect vision.
Now those were they like CRT screens? Back then they were like. Now, are you also sterile now? Because those things were like they made you blind and sterile.
Honestly,
they had all kinds of side effects.
I've been pretty much the fact that I was able to impregnate a woman once is a miracle. I think I've been pretty much close to sterile my entire life. I used to, because we have to say this. I used to bang a lot. I used to bang a lot of women. When I was young, I got a lot of pussy. I'm just saying. And I never used any
I feel
protection.
a Will C story coming on. No,
I never used any protection. I never wore a rubber. Never had a woman who was on birth control. I had girlfriends who I had sex with every night. Never pulled out. Never even tried to protect and not get pregnant, and did.
But anal doesn't get them pregnant.
Huh?
They can't get pregnant from anal.
Oh, that's it. Thank you very much for that. I've wrong fucking. But the one time I got a woman pregnant was I know it was on my birthday and her birthday. It was my wife. We shared the same birthday, and she really wanted a child. She wanted it, and she kind of willed it to happen.
And she blew on a candle and got her wish.
Yeah, exactly. And my son was born 9 months later. 9 months to the day from our birthday, my son was born. That's kind of all right. It happened. I remember the night it happened.
So your son could whenever your birthdays are come around, he could think they were fucking that on this day.
He knew that. Yeah, I had that discussion with him. Yeah, he knew.
Okay.
That's you know what? That's an interesting thing to know how you conceived. I think I know how I was conceived.
I think I know how I was conceived also. At least I know in comedy. The story that I tell in comedy based on the archival and fossil records.
Well, my father was in the hospital because he was burnt to a crisp. And backtracking, before he got burnt to a crisp, he had cheated on my mother with one of her best friends. And I think I might have I think I might have a half sister. My brother denies this, but I think we have a half sister of my
top or bottom. Half.
I think right down the middle, left. I think the left side.
Okay,
that's probably why my brother denies it, because she's on the left. But so and this was one of my mother's best friends who had the affair with my father. My mother forgave her. But still, I think you have to be bitter about that shit. But then my father was in the hospital for a very long time. And I think my creation was a coming home after the hospital, first time he could fuck after coming out of the hospital. That's what I think.
Now, was his wiener burnt also? Was it like one of those little toasty things?
My father was darker than you, but he wasn't by nature darker than you. He was burnt to a crisp darker than you. He was a fried man. The entire time I knew him, people thought he was black. My lifetime. But before that, there are pictures of him when he was lighter skinned than I am. It was the fire that blackened him. Story with that is he was racing hot rods.
Ibid.
I said this?
Well, Ron may not know. Good, Ron. Ron was about to say something anyway, so
I don't remember telling that, but he was taking jet fuel out of a jet, and somebody went to light up a cigarette while he was covered in jet fuel. Yeah, so
it's still funny. You can tell the story as many times as you want. I'm just letting you know, Ibid.
All right, fine. Too bad there were not cell phones in those days. Because the story I was told, they were chasing him around the tarmac for a good 20 minutes with like fire extinguishers and hoses trying to put him out, and they could not put him out. Now that would be, if you're not feeling it, it would be kind of amusing to watch.
Well, you're probably not feeling it after the first few seconds because your neurons will be burnt off.
You would think. But the plane was already loaded up. The passengers in the plane, sitting there on the top of the tarmac, they gotta be watching. It's like, holy shit. But,
now the thing is, if that happened today, there's somebody be filming it and going like, they're remaking Ghost Rider.
Should we help them?
do we sit quietly or will we ruin the set? No. And then
speaking of remakes, I got a casting call, an opportunity to read for a part in a reboot of The Naked Gun. Yesterday.
Wow. That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You playing the Negro part?
I have no idea. I said, yeah, send me. I'll prepare for the read. It's an audition thing. I have no real belief that I might get the part. I think
I'll read for the O.J. Simpson part.
I have no idea what the part is. He said it's a short part. I'll tell you what it pay, $185. It can't be a big part.
They're going to need a corpse because there's always a corpse. I'll be a corpse. Tell them I'll be a corpse. I'll even let them hang me by my hair.
I don't think you can read for the part of the corpse.
No, you have to because you can't just be a corpse. There's like all kinds of corpses. You have to get into character.
But I didn't even know they were remaking Naked Gun. As far as remakes.
With Liam Neeson is playing Frank Drebin. It's a Seth MacFarlane movie.
Wow. Interesting stuff. You want to do showbiz now? You want to do it? We've wasted enough stupid time here. Let's do news first, and then we'll do showbiz right after that. How about that?
Google has lost its final attempt to overturn a European Union antitrust ruling as the bloc's top court ruled against the tech giant on Tuesday, upholding a hefty fine that sparked increased scrutiny on big tech.
The EU's top court rejected Google's appeal of a €2.4 billion fine issued by the European Commission, the EU's top antitrust authority, for violating competition rules with its comparison shopping service. Kyle Norris reported.
Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced Tuesday that his country will send 24 soldiers and police officers to Haiti this week to assist a UN-backed mission led by Kenya in combating violent gangs.
The 20 soldiers and 4 police officers are set to arrive on Thursday. They will join nearly 400 Kenyan police officers who have been working with Haitian police and military since earlier this year, said Vice Admiral Antoinette Wemyss-Gorman, Jamaica's military chief of defense staff. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Ukraine's prime minister warned that the nation could face its hardest winter since Russia's full-scale invasion began as attacks on its energy infrastructure intensify.
Ongoing Russian airstrikes have severely damaged Ukraine's energy generation, leaving the country dependent on its 3 operational nuclear power plants and electricity imports from European Union nations. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
3 major wildfires are burning across Southern California, threatening thousands of homes.
Firefighters and the California National Guard are working to contain the blazes during a triple-digit heat wave, according to officials. The line fire in San Bernardino County, the airport fire in Orange County, and the bridge fire in Los Angeles County are all rapidly spreading due to dry vegetation, authorities reported. Lawrence Keller reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Is there any more good news, or do I need to bomb you? Al.
Keurig, the maker of popular home brewing systems, has agreed to pay a $1.5 million civil penalty to the SEAC after failing to report concerns from major recycling firms about its K-Cup pods in annual reports.
The Securities and Exchange Commission announced Tuesday that Keurig Dr. Pepper Incorporated will settle the case after being charged with making inaccurate statements about the recyclability of its K-Cup single-use beverage pods. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The man accused of shooting on a Kentucky highway sent a text message stating his intent to kill a lot of people.
This message was sent less than 30 minutes before he wounded 5 people on Interstate 75, according to an arrest warrant. I'm going to kill a lot of people. Well, try at least, Joseph Couch, 32, wrote, as stated in the court affidavit. In a separate message, he wrote, I'll kill myself afterwards. The affidavit.
That's a good guy. That's a good guy. Well, I don't know. That's a good guy. He's doing the right thing, killing himself. I'm going to save you a bullet.
Yeah, but he should have done a better thing and killed himself first.
Why didn't he think of that? Yeah, if he was a better guy, he would have saved the bullet in advance.
Yes,
but he saved the taxpayers one bullet. But I intend to kill a lot of people. Who hasn't written that every once in a while on social media? Or I think I have. I never follow through on it, but I think I have written
that. If I typed that before I even got the period on the end of my sentence, I'd have law enforcement at my door.
Yeah. Jamaica is sending soldiers. They're all stoned to Haiti.
That's the only way they got them to go. They don't even know it's Haiti.
It's crazy. The Google suit, I'm curious, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I don't like monopolies, but I like getting checks from Google, and anything that I'm always worried that don't stop my Google checks. I love my Google checks. I don't know.
They're going to be going into cereals anyway, making Google checks mix. Don't even worry about it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Google checks are better than rice checks or wheat checks for your breakfast cereal. Conspiracy theorist time. I mentioned that the right is making the excuse. The Trump camp is making the excuse that her earrings would somehow like earbuds, and she was listening. She was getting her answers from people off stage. Brett Weinstein has taken that a step further and said that the liberals or Kamala Harris's team actually made those look like earbuds to get the right, to trick the right into saying that they were earbuds to make them look foolish. Now that's a long way to go for a conspiracy theory. It's like,
well, they're making themselves look foolish for sure.
Yeah. We won, but here's all the excuses why we didn't win. Does not add up. It does not add up. Anyway, you know what? We were going to do show business. We'll save it until after this segment because our guest has already showed up. She's early, right? She's early. She's not due for another 8 minutes. Yeah.
It's on time.
All right.
All right. Close enough.
Now this might be a little I don't know. Might be a little rough for her to hear. I'm hurt by her. I thought we had a thing. And Charles has been on my evening program, and I thought we had a lovely conversation. I remember her well. But when she wrote to me for this, I'm going to read what she said because it suggests that she doesn't remember me, which will break my heart. And I hope she has some kind of a way to paint this so my heart can be mended, because she said, my publicist, Mickey Mickelson. Mickey's a great guy, by the way, from Creative Edge Publicity. He shared your podcast info with me. By the way, this is a digital broadcast. It's not a podcast. And she said, I'll let him know we booked this and he will send your information away. That suggests that she doesn't remember me. Am I not?
That someone else answered it for her, and they don't know that she knows that you.
That could be. I hope that's what she's going to tell me. Like her assistant wrote that, or somebody who worked.
Yeah, dog.
I think her dog would remember. Most dogs remember me.
But dogs remember you by smell, and I don't think the dog would have smelled you unless. And if the dog could smell you through this, then you really have a problem. That's why she doesn't want to remember you.
All right. Anne is a USA best-selling author, prolific writer. Her books are generally have a kind of Southwestern type of, or Old West or Western type of theme to them. But she includes suspense, romance. I'm not so big on romance because, I've had my heart broken too many times. But sometimes she includes things like supernatural elements and other fun things. She's here now to break my heart again and never remember me.
See, I'm already jealous because she's a prolific writer and I'm just an amateurlific writer.
Yeah. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, wow. I did remember you, but Mickey has me say, make sure you let them know that such and such and that this. So I do that because I often forget to do that. And then Mickey says, well, did you let them know? And I say, well, I can't remember what I did. So
Yeah.
that's my excuse. Yes.
Okay, I feel my heart is a little healed. I feel a
No,
little better.
and I saw yours. That's why I went at, because he will often send us several different. You could try this or this, and I was like, I've been on Mind Dog. I liked that show, so I'm going to try that again. So that's my excuse.
Okay, I'm happy now. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll get over it. I'm unclear which is your latest book. Is it the Knee Deep in what is? I'm sorry, I have it here. There are so many books on your website that it's hard to tell which is the current, the latest release, which I wanted to bring up. Oh, that's the wrong book. Hold on.
No, but that was a nice cover. I liked that.
Yeah, it was a nice cover. That was the guest who did not show up last night. Who I was. Yeah, here it is. Oh, I gotta release this.
So if they didn't show up, you can have that cover, Ann.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Oh no!
They don't show up. The cover is up for it's free range covers.
That book, the book I was just showing, was a book about a priest who falls first time a young priest who falls in love. It doesn't say whether he falls in love with a woman or a young altar boy.
What?
It's a very conflicted type of, why would you write what would in this age and time with the conjuring up of everything that's going on with the priesthood, why would you even go there? But we were not talking. Is this the latest book? Knee Deep in
Hip Deep in Bad Company. This is it. Yes. And I'm working this. We released this summer, and I'm working on the 14th in the Deadwood series, hoping to have that out November. So
all right.
Yeah, I'm bouncing between these worlds now, so my brain gets a little sometimes.
Is it co-written with somebody named Sam Lucky? And
my husband. Yes, this series is the Deadwood Undertaker series. It's a prequel to the big Deadwood Mystery series that I write, and he and I co-write this series together, and it's set in like the 1870s, and it has supernatural and all the adventure and action, and not all the romance. So you'll be happy with this one. This is
okay.
Very little. We arm wrestle about how much I get to throw a little romance, and he's like, I don't know about that.
Now,
So
I'm curious. The 1870s, is that from your husband's childhood? Why that period of time?
I could have been a consultant on that.
I'm getting it's so Deadwood, South Dakota is an actual town, and the gold rush days were 1876, 1877 up through there. So it was rowdy, wild. Everybody was flocking in to get gold, and it just brings in the best and the worst of people, just scrambling, and trying to get a little bit of gold and get their, slice of heaven. So that's kind of why it's such a popular time, especially for the Deadwood area.
Does Hickok show up at all?
Yeah, he's there, and he's shot in Deadwood.
Yeah. I have a drive somewhere, a hard drive full of photographs of Deadwood around the turn of the century, not that far back, not to the 1870s, but around 1890s to 1910. Interesting, the lore around that town. But you're in Arizona, not up there, right?
Right, but see, my mom and my stepdad moved to Deadwood and that area, lived in that area for 35 years, back when I was in 7th grade. So I'm wonderfully, the locals consider me a local because I've spent so much time growing up there. I have all these stories. I'm constantly there. So I think they're being nice and saying, let's just make her a local since she keeps coming back.
Maybe so in the future, they're going to take your birthday and make it Ann Charles Day in Deadwood.
Oh boy, I don't know. I did get a wonderful, the mayor. Oh boy, my brain. It's too early. I need more coffee for this, but the mayor gave us a wonderful certificate and kind of the key to the city last time we were there. Yes, I need more.
Yeah.
Got one, but
Very
it's
cool.
almost empty already. That's no good.
Yeah,
So
me too. I believe me.
But
I know it's 2 hours earlier for you, so
I think
extra.
it's 3. It was 7:15.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I
yeah, you're
was like,
3 hours.
come on, get up. I have a conference next week in Florida. So this is good because they start stuff at, 7 something, 8 something Florida time, which that's going to hurt.
Interesting. Now, because Arizona is one of those weird states that doesn't change. We are going to change back in
Right.
a month and a half now, but
Right.
you don't ever change. You stay the same time every year.
No, but you know what's ironic about that is because everyone else changes and we have family all over the US, we have to still do all the calculations to figure out what time it is. And if I book something, I have to go, okay, no, wait a second. Where are you? And depending on the time of year, so I don't mess up, and pick the wrong time by an hour.
Right. I want to rehash because I remember the conversation that we had originally. We were talking about all the hard work that it takes to get to the point where you can just concentrate on the thing that you love to do, which is writing, and for the benefit of the creative arts people that are in the audience who want to be discovered. I want to re-talk about that, but before I go there, this idea of collaborating, I love to collaborate, but I think distance in collaboration is an important thing, and I could not imagine. I've been married to a woman who was really involved in my creative efforts, and it created a lot of tension in the relationship. Being in the studio, my wife would want to be the executive producer, and I always had this resistance to that.
Right.
So the difficult, because now I found out that you co-write with your husband, and you did say we arm wrestle about how much romance, how much, how difficult is that? Does it cause problems in the relationship in the production of the creative work?
There is friction. I'm not going to deny it. And he would laugh and go, "Yes, there is." Yeah, there's times when we don't agree on which way the story should go necessarily, and we always, the thing I say often is whoever argues the loudest wins, and the longest, who won't let it go. Okay, you win. You win. It's fine. This is book 5, actually 6, including the Christmas novella we wrote together. So every book gets better in that we understand, how each other works and what not to do, and how best to critique each other's writing as we go along. So you learn that with time. And sometimes it's just you get to the point of, okay, fine, you do it this way, and we'll just go forward. Oh, no, 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 let's do it your way. There's a lot of back and forth, and so yeah, it's really fulfilling and wonderful when it's working great, and we laugh and we have such fun time building the stories, and it's a little tough when we don't. But we've remodeled a couple of houses together. We've had kids together. We have multiple animals together. So this is just another arm wrestling thing along the way, another child kind of, if you will, to talk about and agree or disagree on. And the fact that we've made it to book, we're working on 6 right now. And the fact that we've made it that far, we're still married. Wow. And kids. Wow. Teenagers too. Wow.
Yeah.
My question is,
Congratulations.
because in a real marriage, there's going to be some disagreements and arguments. Have you ever lifted an argument and put it in the book? Like, oh, this is a good fight. It will be really good. But we'll make it between this person and that person instead of between us, because this is a really good argument. Have you done that?
No, we haven't. We try to keep that separated out, although it might fuel some of the fight scenes. I don't know. I could ask him that.
I was just thinking, I could see a couples therapist writing to GD like, "Shut up." That's going to ruin our business, because there probably could be therapeutic in some way to handle it in a creative way like that. So.
Right. One thing we do often do is when each of us we have a part we're writing, or a section, and a lot of times we'll leave little fun nuggets in the story for each other. and it might be a joke that's kind of really a personal joke that we've shared, something funny. Or one of the the things that it always cracks me up. So my husband is he does not write romance. That's not his thing. But he will start a scene where maybe it's just a little of a, an affectionate scene, or a little bit of romance that we have in there, and he'll write something and it'll make my cheeks burn, or it'll make me laugh, because he's doing it just for me to have fun, or and it'll be very purple prose. She swooned and her bosoms did or something. We'll have fun with it, and he knows it's just coming to me, and it's a total joke. It's so purple prose. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with purple prose, but it's back in the
song Unbelievable.
Back in the 70s and 80s, they accused, a lot of the romance was purple prose, they would say, because it was over the top kind of feeling and verbiage of her beautiful hair would flow in the wind, or
now, is it painful for you to read? Painful, for example, Kevin Spacey had a scene where he had to make out with a woman in a bathroom and he had to undo her bra. And Kevin Spacey obviously had no idea what to do with a woman. And so was it that kind of awkward? You were looking to say, wow,
no,
honey, thank you for trying. Thank you for trying. But this is really weird.
He's doing it on purpose. It's only for me. And it's not, I'm not even talking it's not even pornographic or anything like that. It's just over the top kind of romancy, like he rides in on a big white horse and he swoops her up and he takes her off to this, and it's so not the story.
My wife, she likes paranormal romance novels, and instead of just regular romance novels, or as we like to describe them, a regular romance novel is silky folds, and
yes,
paranormal romances,
Ron has been on this program for 8 years, and they've never divulged that his wife writes paranormal romance.
Are you kidding? He works that into every conversation. He was Ron and I were at a restaurant the other day. We were talking about the show, and the lady says, "What would you have?" And he immediately burst into his wife and romance, the
paranormal romance.
Yes.
Well, there are you put in some paranormal elements in your writing, right? Or supernatural stuff.
Yeah, supernatural.
Are you a fan of that stuff?
Oh yes, I love that. Since I was a kid, monsters, vampires, werewolves, whatever, all that into a story. Always ghosts has always made it more fun. And when I started the Deadwood series way back when, and I was writing and I was aiming with mystery with some romantic elements. Because I started way back when in the romance world, trying to break in there, and I just couldn't emote enough for what is required to write a good romance. So I switched to, I was, joke and say I threw in a dead body, and all of a sudden I could write, it was exciting and fun. Let's figure out this mystery. What happened? So I started with that, and then I wanted to add some supernatural, because anyone who's been to Deadwood or spent any time reading about it, everywhere in Deadwood is haunted. There were so many violent murders and all these deaths that I'll have people all the time come up to me and say, "You should come check out my house. There's ghosts," and we've done a lot of ghost related tours while we're there with fans in Deadwood. So I knew I wanted to throw in some of that ghost element to make the story a little bit more fun for me to write it. And it just grew from there, with starting with some ghosts, and it just kept building to creatures and others and all kinds of fun, non-humans or even human hybrids that were mixed in. And so it really became supernatural, it was an organic thing for the story. And there's just such a big world when you incorporate supernatural. You can have so many more elements to it, so much more fun for me.
Yeah, what confuses me is I've interviewed a lot of romance writers who have ghosts in them, or those kind of things, and it's like the ghosts included in the romance stuff is very weird for me. Like, you can never really you really can't consummate the relationship in any way, in a physical way, or maybe you can, I don't know, but it just seems like a weird thing. A lot of women seem to have get turned on by the idea of a lover from another world, another
Right.
dimension.
Right. And I mean, I remember Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, and it was romantic, but yes, I was kind of like, well, that's not really working, is it? I mean, he's gone, I think. So, my ghosts are not really lover ghosts. They're not very nice ghosts a lot of times. And the heroine is not. She's human, and she can't see the ghosts like so many others around her kin. So, and you're only ever in her point of view in that particular series, the Deadwood series. And so that adds a fun element of, do you believe this person? Do you believe there's this ghost here, or do you not? Because you can't see it either, since you're only ever in her head. So that was kind of the start of the supernatural, and the challenge that I wanted to do with the series is, how will this work if I can only ever see out of her eyes? Now, in the Undertaker series, we actually are in third person and going between different people's, in different people's heads, and some can see ghosts and some can't. So it's a fun mix of stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it's the romance is not really ghost related. The ghosts are more for the supernatural scary in my stuff.
All right. So I'm going to assume, maybe I shouldn't assume. Do you know your demographic? Like, do you have a certain demographic, age, gender, lifestyle that is your target audience?
So my characters are usually anywhere from late 20s to 50s. So I tend to think of my demographic as, 30 and up. More often than not. That doesn't mean I don't. I'm surprised often by the readers that come in. Some of them very young, because a lot of times I have some, pop culture references maybe that you'll understand if you're 30 and up, but you might not get the references well if you're younger. But that, my daughter, she's turning 18, and she's read several of the books, and she just loves it. She gets, if she doesn't get the reference, she'll look it up and try to figure out what I'm talking about.
I find that encouraging. I just want to say that people your subject matter, your titles, or the whole Southwestern kind of feel to it appeals to my generation. But I always feel like the younger people are more drawn towards urban dystopian kind of stuff. And I'm not sure why that is, like, because there's so much to be really learned from and I don't know, appreciated in past the more rural aspects of this country and lifestyles that come with it, that I don't want to see that fade away. It's a nostalgic thing for me. I don't want to see that go away. It's part of but I don't think I'm surprised to find that young people are interested in it, and of course they are. If you're selling books, obviously they must be. So.
Well, and as they age, the millennials, when I started way back when, I was in my 30s, writing these books, and now, add a lot of years to that. And now the generation behind us is coming up through their 30s and 40s. And I find that that's, a lot of my newer fans are also from that generation coming in. Now they have children. Because in the Deadwood series, she has 2 kids that are 9 years old, going on 10. She's a single mother trying to deal with all this stuff. So that pulls in a lot of people, younger generation coming in that have children and understand, oh yeah, this is what this is like. So
I'm just curious. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Are your characters aging the same rate you are? Or because I'm thinking you're 37, but it sounds like your characters have passed you and they've gotten to be older than you are.
Yeah, no insincere flattery there, and I think you look very young because you're talking about like a long time ago, and it just seems like when you say 30, I would assume you are 35, 37 something. So.
No, I'm 53. I mean, I'll be honest about that. And I sit inside a lot in dark rooms writing, so I often say that I don't get to see much sun.
Next you'll tell us you bathe in the placenta of little deer or something. Go ahead.
No.
We're paranormal. Sorry. No.
Right. No, so actually in the story world, the timeline between book 1 and 14 has only been about 6-7 months. So a lot of me and a lot of the fans that have been there from the start, we have all had a lot of life happening, but yet you go back to the story world and it's only happening, in their time. So they keep staying the same. And I laugh because when I started, I was the age of the heroine, and now I'm the age of some of the older characters that I had that give a little bit of the body humor every now and then. And I'm like, yeah, that's me now.
I thought you said, I was really
he said he's going to the heroin thing.
Yes, I thought you were saying like I was the age of heroin, but now I'm the age of crack.
I was writing out of my mind on heroin. Yeah.
Oh, long ago, I tried writing once, like while I was drinking one night, long ago, when I was in college, and I thought maybe I'm going to be, like some of these authors that drink and write. But boy, I got a really bad grade on that paper, and it was pretty horrible when I was sober. And I thought, well, that's good. I'll stay sober and write them.
It makes you wonder how Hemingway was so good, because he was drunk all the time.
And how much better he would have been if he was sober.
Right.
I can't do anything. I'm one 2 drinks and I'm ready for bed. So I can't do anything productive. Yeah, whatever. Last time I spoke to you, and I was super impressed with your character that I'm not talking about one of the characters in your book, your personal character that allowed you to be coachable, patient, and persistent in pursuit of your dreams. And in the many interviews I've done with people in the creative arts, people don't have one or any of those three. I think basically the patience and persistence. People want to be discovered, but you told pretty much a story of dedication, being willing to take constructive criticism, always trying to learn to be better while you were working your ass off, working a day job and writing at night until you could become self-sufficient. I think that's an important story for my audience. Just what do you think that in your character that made you be able to have that patience and persistence?
Well, I was the youngest of 4 siblings, so maybe that's part of it. When you have all the older siblings bossing you around and trying to run your world, combing your hair and do all the things, and you have to have patience and just let it go and wait for them to grow up and move out. So from the beginning, I waited. I took some of their favorite music, enjoyed that, and enjoyed sneaking peeks at movies I shouldn't have, Cheech and Chong when I was a kid and all that stuff. And then I just took bits of that and waited while they, grew up and moved on their way, and then started my stuff. And it's funny, my sisters at one point, they helped me a lot of times with some of the book stuff. One of them said, she was never really that funny when she was young. What happened?
Now, I have a question about that. I have a question. You were talking about the combing your hair and stuff.
Yeah.
Did they tell you it didn't hurt and you knew different?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, and they say it was out of love they were combing my hair.
They lie. Oh, they lie.
No, you were taking it out on me, because I was the youngest, and the parents, kind of, they tend to, the young one, they take it easiest on. So, but I think, honestly, it's part of my nature. I joke that I'm a turtle and not the rabbit. I turtle along, and you can say, make this decision. Should we do this? And sometimes, if I have to, I'll make a decision. A lot of times I'll say, let me turtle on that for a little bit, so I can get a true feel and understanding of what's all involved. And then I can make some decisions. So I think that's part of it. And maybe I'm just stubborn to a fault that I'm going to keep trying at this, even though it's hard. And it's still that way. Marketing is changing so fast with AI and all that. And, sometimes I think it might be easier if I just went back in the workplace world, and just get the weekly paycheck type of thing and deal with what I know what comes with that, because I did it for so long. But then another part of me says, no, you can do this. You can learn something new, take some courses, digital marketing, figure it out, and keep going forward. So
do you use AI in any way at all? like
I've only done very little, like with a newsletter said, give me a picture of an old prospector in the Old West. And they came a cartoon and they, here's this picture. And I used it once. I just had to sign up with a new newsletter service that does some AI to help you with like subject lines. And if you, need help with a paragraph. So I won't per se use it too much, but I do like the idea of subject line help and that kind of a thing. Maybe they'll come up with an idea that I can spin off from.
Right. Do you think that attitude that we talked about can be cultivated? This attitude of persistence and being able to play the long game and not, because so many people in the creative arts, and this is why I think this conversation was helpful for people, even though we have it constantly. I think it needs to be hammered home. Is that so many people want to be discovered? They're looking for this quick. I want the world to know who I am, without ever really going through all those things. I think it's important to go through the struggles. I think it develops you. It develops the work you're going to do. Do you think that attitude can be cultivated?
I don't know. I guess it depends on, in my generation, we didn't have everything so quickly and easily. That. And, my kids and those, a little older than them, you can just order from Amazon. My son is building a computer from scratch. He's working part-time and going to school, and he's using the money for work right now to build this new supercomputer that he wanted to try to build and learn about. And, he had some money come with college, and he's like, I could get my graphics card. And I said, or you can do like we talked about, and you can work for 3 more weeks, save up your paychecks, put this money in your savings. And then when you 3 more weeks, like we planned, then you buy the graphics card you want. And that would teach you, the joy of saving for something and buying it. And he said, how about I do, instead of saving X amount, I pull 100 out of that and save the rest. And I said,
wow,
okay, that's a deal. You can have $100 of this and then bank the rest. But I think, that's pretty normal. I know I can go on Amazon and boom, in a couple of days or a day, I have something. And that makes it hard to want to take the journey, if you will, of building a career and what comes with it. And it's all about that journey and all that happens along the way. And I was talking to my sister-in-law lately and brother-in-law about that, just saying sometimes you just, and this is a reference to Lord of the Rings, for those of you who don't know Lord of the Rings, but you just want to take the rings and hurry up to the top of Mount Doom and dump them in the fire and get back to the Shire and live your life. You don't want to do the long journey to do this, right? And it's really hard to have that motivation to plod along and try things and fail and all that, and watch others go boom to the top because they won the lotto of being this world famous author all of a sudden. But in the end,
I think it's possible that the younger people, because I was thinking when I was younger, I was really trying to be patient and build a certain brand for myself. And then that was as a musician. I wanted to build a certain brand and a certain reputation. But now that I'm older, when I started doing comedy at 55, I thought, I don't have enough time. I have to find as many shortcuts as possible. I can't do, so are they looking at us going, whoa, dad is now 70 and he's not any closer to getting what he wanted. I'm going to take as many shortcuts as I possibly can.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I don't want to wait till I'm your age. That's what I had kids at 33 and 35, and my nieces, I love them dearly, but one of them said, well, I didn't want to wait till I was as old as my aunt to have kids. And I was like, come on, I'm not that old.
Boy.
But
I would have their lips sewn shut. That's what I would do.
But that's just, I try to think a lot of times of, this is how life is going to go, and stop getting so caught up in everybody else's life and what they're doing, and sit back and look at all the positives that I have going on. And there's struggles, there's down times. I mean, I'm coming off 2 years of both of my dad almost dying twice, my mom actually dying. And it knocked me down. I've only put out 1 book a year just about. And it was hard to even do that. But now it's coming back as I get going again. And I've smoothed out from that, and that's part of the journey. And I hope I can look back at this time someday and go, oh, yeah, this really, look how it changed my writing. Look how this switched me, a little bit.
You, with that one sentence, you have both gathered sympathy, empathy, and made a lot of people really angry because you said, my mother died and I was down to writing only one book a year.
Right.
Somebody's going like, her mother died. Oh, one book a year? Fuck you.
Yeah. Right.
If you knew my mother, who was in this from the start, pushing me, she's the one who lived at Deadwood. She'd be like, why did you take so long after I died to get back on that chair and get back to writing? You should have been writing. So, and a lot of people that knew her always said, are you writing yet? Because your mom would be pushing you to get back going and stop, wallowing in this grief.
But those authors don't know your mom. Those authors are going, oh, what? Only one book a fucking year. It's been 12 years. I'm still in the 3rd chapter of my first book.
That's part. I typically write 2 to 3 books, and these are longer books. I write about 120K. So it takes 4 to 5 months for a book to go clear through, the whole process and all my edits and all that. So
speaking of AI, I asked when we start the program in the morning, I put up one still while we run News in 60. And I asked Microsoft AI generator, make me a still of author Ann Charles. I got to share that with you.
Really?
Here's what AI came up with.
Wow. Can I use that as my author picture now? Because I look nothing like that.
So,
in all fairness, what it is AI was assuming what you would look like at 60.
Writing, I think the blonde hair, cowboy hat, writing in the desert pretty much sums it up. I didn't put that in. I said, make me a picture of author Ann Charles, and that's what it came. I think that's pretty on the money as far as, I don't know if you've ever sat out in the desert.
Yeah, drop about 30 pounds and add about 20 filters, and there we go. Yeah, that's me.
Well, the essence of it. But I thought that was interesting because have you ever sat out in because the area where you are now, I know it's Phoenix is urban now, but it's filled with that kind of, the Arizona landscape is filled with really inspiring stuff for the type of stuff that you write. Have you ever taken the craft outdoors to find inspiration while you're writing?
Arizona is beautiful. I'm up in the mountains too, so it's just a little bit different looking. We're more pine trees and that everywhere. But to be honest, here's my thing. Arizona has a lot of bad bugs. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good in that, Black Widow or some of these creepy spiders, a sun spider will kill some bad bugs. But for me, itchy, creepy. Those flies, there's gnats.
Yeah. I have a friend who's been bitten by scorpions 3 different times. Once on a live podcast.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
yeah, and we do have scorpions and whatnot. So yeah, no, the dirt's just a walkthrough for me to the mailbox.
So what's the creepiest one that when you see it in the house, you're like, okay, that's it. You got to get this out of the house, or I'm moving out. What's the creepiest
a sun spider? Is right up there, and anyone can look up a sun spider. It's like they have these mandibles at the front to pinch, and they're big spiders, about quarter size when they're big, and they run really fast, and they scare. When we first moved here, we had the doors open, and it was early July, and we thought, why do all the neighbors have their houses all closed up? It's beautiful here. And about 3 days in, out from under the bed runs one of these huge sun spiders. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed and I thought, what is that? And he just moved so fast and got away. And I was like, oh boy. And so we looked it up. Oh, it's a sun spider. 2 days later, another one or the same comes out again from under the bed. And I was like, that's it. Close it up. Call the exterminator. We're done. Until this,
I've never been intimidated by an animal that I could defeat with a cup.
Oh, they're so creepy crawly. Creepy.
Yeah, I mean,
do sun spiders fit under a cup? How big are they?
They would, but see, and sun spiders are nice. I actually found one out here in the room next to my office yesterday, and I captured it and I let it outside because I've learned since how nice they are and how not nice but beneficial. And they don't like to attack humans. They don't,
They
but
don't
they
like
will.
to?
They
Yeah,
will
okay.
because they're defensive, but they don't, and they're not venomous. So, or if they are, I don't think it's not anything to be concerned about. But a black widow will get killed instantly.
No,
if it's in the house.
Sticks are not, just as a point of reference. Sticks are not poisonous. But if you hit me with one, they hurt. So yeah, something does not have to be venomous to cause you pain.
Right, exactly. It's fun though.
Do one of you guys
Arizona-
want to remind me to get off of Govs right now, or I have to remind myself to get off?
No, I think you should wait till Ann is done and then get off of Govs, because we don't want Govs to miss a moment of Ann.
Well, no, unfortunately, we have to get off of